Acha baridi. Haya, simameni basi, simameni. Hebu stand up. Zima DJ. Watu wote wameogopa. Kwa hivyo leo hakuna muziki. Mko poa lakini mko poa. So we are here on purpose and because we are way behind wakubwa wetu ambao watakuwa wanatufanyia facilitation, tutakuwa na presentation na vitu vitakuwa nzuri. So I want to welcome each and every one of us mahali hapa Sidarec. Feel very much at home. Sawa. Without wasting much time. Mimi naitwa Teacher Wilberforce, huwa nafundisha hapa Topline. Nataka nilete our Deputy Director ili kwamba akapate kutufungulia this forum.
No, there is no time for dancing. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, teachers. We don't have teachers. Good afternoon, teachers. Good afternoon, everyone. Can we have somebody creating order amongst these our young children? They are also supposed to be here, but can somebody create order here? You are creating for them space to be seated inside here. They are not supposed to be outside. So once again, we welcome everyone to Sidarec. We have this school activity today, and we decided that we are not going to do it to Topline only, but we are going to. So today, what majorly we are going to do here is to talk about Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. There are 17 of them. And these are not just goals. They are universal goals that were adopted in a UN conference some time back. And Kenya adopted also among the countries that ratified and signed to be committed towards achieving these 17 goals. All over the world. I think there are around 163 countries, is it? So 163 countries all over the world decided after the UN conference to come up with these goals that you're seeing up here. There are 17 of them. And these 163 countries are working towards achieving these goals to its citizens by the year 2030. So our major purpose today here is to try to share with you as young children, as young people who are going to be the nation of tomorrow, to be aware of what your country is all about, what is happening globally, and what are your leaders up to. Because right now, even there is a conference that the president is attending, which they're trying to talk about these goals and trying to see where have they reached so far. But these goals are supposed to be achieved by the year 2030. They cannot be achieved 100%, but they can only be achieved a certain percentage if everyone is involved. And we are talking about leaving nobody behind. So when we are leaving nobody behind, we are also thinking about our students. We are thinking about the children of Mukuru. How do we not leave them behind? By sharing the information about Sustainable Development Goals. Are you aware? How many people are aware about Sustainable Development Goals? Nani amesikia? Who has heard about SDGs? Topline, don't carry your hand. I know you had them yesterday and some weeks before. From the schools that we have invited, is there anybody who has ever heard about SDGs? So you realize that there are goals that the government is actually working upon on your behalf. And as students, you really need to know, because all these issues that are here on these goals affect you in one way or another. Because when you look at quality education, as a student or as a teacher, you expect to receive quality education, and you expect the teacher to give you quality education. And how is the government working towards achieving quality education among the urban slum marginalized schools? Those are the things we need you to think about as we talk about these SDGs. And there are people who are going to talk about them at length, and there are also students who are also going to come and present some issues with regards to these SDGs. The platform is open. There is a time the platform will be open. We expect you to participate. Don't just sit. If you have a question, please ask. If you're not understanding,
deserves to suffer. Nobody. And that's how governance comes in. For public services to be delivered, the government has to provide the money. Sindio? Wakiiba, mtakuwa na public services? Hapana. So you see, the people who cannot afford private services are the ones who suffer. And that's the majority of Kenyans. Sindio? That's why we need to tie governance with the SDGs. Right? So, as I was explaining, this global week, it's to sensitize the world. Kuwachangamsha, tumefika wapi towards achieving these goals. Unaona? So the whole world is participating on this. Those who are active on social media, which you should not be doing, since you're in school, it's a school term, but the world is making a lot of noise on the SDG this week. Wale wamesahau tunawakumbusha. It is our responsibility to ensure that we achieve these goals, because you, the future generation, are the ones who are going to suffer from our negligence. Okay, if we pollute the environment, ni nyinyi ndo mtasuffer. Munaona ozone layer inakuwa depleted because of pollution. Sindio? If we don't stop it now, it's the future generations that are going to be affected. Isn't that right? Yeah. So I want to give you an example of how age should not be a determining factor for you to make change in your community, in your country, and even internationally. There's this girl, 16-year-old girl called Greta. She's from Sweden, and she actually has autism. Who knows what autism is? Autism. Nani anajua autism? Autism. Anyone? Who wants to attempt? This is interactive, lazima participate. Who knows what autism is? I need one volunteer. Na nitampatia kitu. Stop asking your teachers. Martin, nakuona hapo nyuma. Who knows? You want to try? Anyway, there's this 16-year-old girl. The form of autism that she has, anakuanga very passionate about something. Na wanafuatilia kabisa. If you're good in math, there are some of them who are geniuses when it comes to math. So inakuanga na shortcomings, lakini they have a strength. Anyway, so she decided that she has to do something about the climate change in the world. So she started an initiative whereby she was encouraging students to strike every Friday. Every Friday from January she has been striking. If you see her pictures from the beginning of the year, it was just a bunch of like 10 people wanna strike. Sahi, they are striking in the thousands. Hundreds of thousands of kids are like you here. She's 16 years old with a mental disorder. Children like you, I'm not telling you to strike. I'm just giving you an example. Because her initiative has actually gotten the attention of world leaders. She sat in front of world leaders like Trump, even our own president, to talk about her agenda. And she could really articulate the issues well. If you look for her, she's called Greta. She's making a lot of noise in this world. World leaders are shaking at the mention of her name. So what I'm trying to say is, it's never too early to start. you guys are the right age to familiarize yourself with these things and also with governance. Because no man is an island, we live in a community. So governance will definitely affect you whether you like to actively participate or not. People like us have decided to actively participate. Not because I will benefit on my own, but I want my community to benefit. That is why you guys are here. So during this SDG week, there's the top level leaders who are meeting in New York. There's also other initiatives all over the globe who are participating to ensure these SDGs are being enactioned. So this week we've had a couple of activities. We've had a radio show today. We had a Twitter call. That is, we are all tweeting from all over the world about the same thing. So it was trending. We are all talking about SDGs and giving different perspectives from our nations to compare notes and to see best practices and to see what you can copy or emulate. So one of the activities is intervention to primary and secondary school children, which is you. So here at Topline, we divided our students into 17 groups. Each is going to represent the 17 goals as you see here. So they had facilitators who are the teachers and presenters from Ghetto FM. So the person who's responsible will present on their goals, and then we can have feedback on the same. So since everybody participated in one particular SDG, our intention is for all of us to learn from each other. There was no time for all of us to study each and one of them. Okay, so during these presentations, please pay attention. And if you have any feedback or concerns or any additions, please feel free. It's interactive. See lecture. Sawa. You're lectured every day in school from 8 to 5. This is an engagement. Sawa. So I'd like to invite my colleague, Emily, to say a few things. Karibu.
As she has said, my name is not Emily, my name is Milka. But that's a point of correction. Anyway, I think we are behind time. Tumeanza late. Ishachanganya lugha. Ama mnataka aje? Zote. So sawa, I will mix these languages ndio uelewe vizuri kidogo. Now, tumeanza very late. I think tutakimbia kidogo. I would like just to invite Rukwan. Rukwan Kwabi. SDG 1, no poverty.
And I want to introduce you to... Okay. Okay, my name is Brian Morata. I'm a student from Topline High School. So I want to introduce you on SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So number 1 is poverty, no poverty. So what do we mean by the term first, no poverty? When we come, meaning of no poverty first, it means that each and every person is able to access good health care services and clothing and food and shelter. So, and there are some solutions we have to make on employment is actually a big deal, and we should try to do away with it. So the best thing the government should do is to create enough farms for the youth to get employed.
Point of interruption. Dorata, how are you? I want you to relax. Of crime.
and this causes many of our youth to enter in drug abuse, which is not good, which is not a good habit to them. So the government should consider most on creating enough farms which will enable our youth to get job opportunities. So that's the first point. Let me go to the next point on empowerment of talents. So as you can see, empowerment of talents. Each and every one of us here has got his or her talent. Each and every one of us here has got his or her talent, but the field to expose his or her talent is not available. So what shall the government do on it? The government should able to create several fields which occupy different talents, and this will enable our innovation. Each and every now and then, most of the people are trying to bring out new ideas which will enable our country to run smoothly, and this will enable somehow moving from poverty to richness. So most of the youth, like, let me give an example for the one who invented the M-Pesa. The person who invented the M-Pesa, in fact, he was very creative, and this enabled him to move from one level to another. But the government also should look on the youths who are very creative and innovative, so that they may help in reducing poverty, because poverty. Every day people are crying of poverty, and the best way to do away of it is these 5 good points I've given out. Thank you.
Let's clap for Brent. That was a very good presentation. And just to point out a few points, when somebody is presenting, kindly let's not clap, because it's taking much of the time. Okay? According to this SDG, by 2030 in our country, it says poverty level should have reduced by a half. At least hakuna mtu anataka kukula, as in to get the 3 meals in a day, that is breakfast, lunch and supper, right? What it means poor, ni ule mtu ana struggle kukula, you know, like you get 1 meal per day or 2. In normal cases, a person should take like 4 to 3 meals. If you know that, Brian has 5 good points to eradicate poverty. How I hope will become very keen, that is by employment opportunities, by using our talents, and just to create awareness. And 2 others, thank you. So the next group on SDG 2, zero hunger. Kindly.
These factors, among many others, put us in a great position to be successful. There are billions of people on the other side of those dividing lines. However, for hundreds of millions of people around the world, hardship is all but granted.
Good afternoon, my name is Wanafunzi Machala, and I'm from Topline High School. And I'm going to tackle about the reduced inequalities. So, let us start. The main goal here is about to reduce inequalities within and among countries. And when I start, what does reduce inequalities mean? Inequalities based on income, sex, age, disability, sexual orientation, race, class, ethnicity, religion, and opportunity continue to persist across the world within and among countries. Inequalities threatens long-term social and economic development, harms poverty reduction, and destroy people's sense of fulfillment and self-worth. So, inequality, it affects us a lot. In a company, you can find that somebody cannot do his or her work properly because there is a person who is discriminating him or her. That I cannot work with a Gikuyu, a Luya, yeah, or I cannot work with an European. So, what we can do to finish inequality in Kenya is this. We must reduce inequality. Policies should be universal in principle, paying attention to the needs of disadvantaged and marginalized populations. There needs to be an increase in duty, free treatment, and continuation of favoring exports from developing countries. The solution which I'm giving here is that we must love each other as brothers. We must have that equality, that this is my brother. Let us do work together. Let us create this country together and stop discriminating one another. And the goal and the target of this reduce equality is goal number 10. We say ensure equal opportunity and reduce inequalities of outcomes, including by eliminating discriminatory laws, policies, and practices. Adapt policies, especially.
Hunger is a world food program that prevents food wastage and creates a world where there is no hunger. Examples: Development Goal Fund, Natural Capital Partners, and Global Goals. So, the institution and countries has been working out to eliminate hunger. So we have some examples around the country that are making hunger to occur most of the time. So an example is in Turkana. In Turkana, people have been dying of hunger, and this has created food insecurity. And it's because it's an arid place, and the place has become like there is no food can grow there, and the rains cannot rain there because of some climatic changes. And in Mandera, people and animals are dying for hunger now, and this is causing poverty. And when people are dying of hunger in such areas, it's so difficult for them because in Mandera people use water, and this is causing poor sanitation. And like now, in the media, they're reporting that there is cholera in Mandera and it is killing many people. So that's showing that lack of food and starvation have caused the poor sanitation. And another example is in Baringo. In Baringo, people died a lot, and it's because of the same thing. And some politicians took the issue onto their own benefits, and they went ahead to go there and they started making false promises to them. So this shows that even the government, some individual from the government, are making the food supply and everything to be like people to beg for it. Okay, and then there is a refugee who went ahead and said, "Teach me how to fish, don't give me fish." That means the refugee was being given charity food every now and then, and the refugee felt like he or she was becoming a beggar every now and then. And this made the beggar to give out the say and told the people who are giving the food to him, "Now teach me how to fish." He was meaning that he wanted the skill of how to make the food. And those people went ahead and started went ahead in that camp, in that refugee camp, and showed the refugee how to plant the plants and how to make food on that arid place. And agriculture had been going there for some time, and this has brought more food supply within the refugee camp and outside the refugee camp. You see, that is zero hunger. So the solution, some of the solutions, is to ensure that all food systems are sustainable from production to consumption. Another one is double small-scale producer incomes and productivity. And another one is adapt all food systems to eliminate loss or waste of food. Another one is access of adequate foods and healthy diets for all people all year round. That means all the year round, no one has to suffer because of food. Someone has a right to food out there, so he needs that food. And another one is an end of malnutrition in all forms. And another one is supply of resources to marginalized areas, like in slum areas. Some people can't even get food. Like you have to eat food 3 times a day or 4 times, not once a day. Now those people are dying of hunger. They are like suffering day in and day out. So they need adequate food to survive. Now, relation to Sidarec. Sidarec is one of the institutions that came ahead and created some platforms, and they gave us the chance as the students. We debated about the right to food. It gave the community the chance to come around the school and argue about the right to food, and this showed how we can overcome and curb the issue about hunger. And the society gave some of their opinions, and the platform came up with 4 pillars about right to food. One is availability and stability. Relates with right to water is as part of food. Intake and necessary to produce of food. Now, you have to access water to cook, and if you access water that is not good, like the water which has been polluted around our area, like this Nairobi River. The Nairobi River has been polluted. Now you can't get clean water to cook if the piped water passes through that sewage. So you have right to water so you can cook good food. And in our school, we have a school tank which has clean water for us. So we have a clean water to cook good food. And then another one is accessibility, sustainability, and adequacy. Right to property. All land and other productive resources needed to grow food. Everyone has a right to own a land or a right to have somewhere to grow food. Like you see in the farmers. The farmers have the small scale farmers. They have a land, but their farm cannot yield food because of some few things that overcome them. There is a saying that goes in Proverbs 3:23, the fallow ground of the poor yields much food, but it's swept away through injustice. This goes to those people that when a farmer grows food, he goes out there and he wants to sell his food, but the person buying the food buys in a small amount. He goes ahead and makes the farmer to feel inferior in front of him, and the farmer feels like he doesn't have the power to sell the food to him. So the farmer will not again to go ahead and plant the food. So the small farm that he has will be of wastage, and the zero hunger will continue. So another one. Right to health. For you, to the food, you need to be healthy. So, right to health, that means that when you have good health, you can access good food. And another one is right to work. In order to provide the basic, including food, you need to work. You need to go out there and look for the food. Another one is utilization. Another one is stability. Food instability refers to the ability to obtain food over time. That means that you have to access food so as to have food yearly, not the zero hunger to be overcome. Now, let me give my friend to talk about the Constitution.
Part on that, under the Kenyan Constitution, agriculture is one of the principal sectors. Under Article 43(1)(c) states that every person has the right to be free from hunger and to have adequate food of acceptable quality. Here in Kenya, people are still dying of hunger despite to this bill. Thank you.